welcome back to Alta Lifestyles. I'm here doing a review on the Incubator by HHD. My friend had purchased it from Uncle Wieners in Calgary, Alberta. He had lent it to me to do some incubating while my pregnancy was coming in the mail, and I just want to share my pros and cons about it and basically my experience with it. So we will start with the cons first. So I do have three. The first one is temperature and humidity. I'm going to combine these two because they play together. The humidity in this model is impossible to keep consistent. It is always throwing itself off. No matter where you have it, it's always throwing off the humidity. And when you add water, you add it at the ports, at the front and the back, and that, for me, is kind of inconvenient just because it comes with a little hair dye bottle, and you just insert the water through the hole in the base. And I personally found that it leaked, and the wire that runs from like the top to the bottom or the top to the motor, so everything turns, runs right across by the water. So that's a thing for me that I wasn't quite thrilled about. The temperature never seemed to stay consistent, and when you would open the lid to take a peek at things, it would lose the heat and humidity really quick. Obviously it will, but what I mean by really quick, I mean like quick. So, and then the other downfall is it would take a good 20 minutes to build the heat and humidity back up to what it was. So my pregnancy never did that, and for this one I was kind of surprised at how much it lost and how long it took to actually build back up. So con number two for me is, this is why I was taking the lid off for peeking, is because you have to keep the styrofoam on. It's advertised as a 360 view, meaning the base is clear and you should be able to see in and see all the eggs. Unfortunately, with this model, that's not the case. You actually have to keep this on because, like I said, you lose your heat and humidity if you don't. So that was a huge letdown for me. Most people, from what I've heard, throw this out, throw the styrofoam out. It actually doesn't say in the manual to keep it. It shows a picture but doesn't tell you. So this has been word of mouth in many groups I'm a part of, and thankfully I knew that because my friend didn't, and he actually discarded his styrofoam. Con number three for me is the instructions and lack of. So like I said, the instructions doesn't tell you to keep the styrofoam. So I can imagine a lot of people throw that out. And the settings require you to understand and know the codes to get to certain parts. So for example, if you want to go to humidity, you would hold down the settings button for 3 seconds and then the code would pop up, such as like CA, LS, AS. I think there's like 5 or 6 different codes for different things it does. So if you lose your book or you misplace it like I did, a loss for what code does what without actually clicking through it. I guess the only pro thing to this is it fits a lot of eggs. I don't know. It does 48 eggs. I think maybe that's the only pro to this. It does retail for about $200. I'm not saying this is a pro. It is on sale for I think $130, but you get what you pay for. My experience, so I put 44 eggs in the incubator, only 2 hatched. About 5 were not fertilized, but throughout day 1 to day 21, I had lost and failed 44 eggs. So that was a huge letdown, and I imagine a lot of people who have experienced this maybe just give up on incubating because they've lost so many. But I'm here to tell you there's other incubators out there that are better than this, that will give you a better success rate. So definitely please do your research on incubators before you jump to something cheap, because you definitely do get what you pay for. And if you are in Facebook groups, Facebook does have some chicken groups. I definitely recommend joining those, asking questions. There's no dumb question, there's no right question, there's no wrong question. But incubator would be kind of a buyer beware type thing, is basically what I'm trying to get across to everybody. And I don't want people to experience the same thing I did, because this was in their price point. So definitely save up. Look on the chicken sites to see if anybody's selling it. Look at a Brincy model or a Nutri-Right 360. I've heard really good reviews about those. I personally run Brincy models. I actually have a Ovation 56 I plan on doing a review on, but I would definitely do your research prior to buying an incubator. My other tip for you as well is do a test run with your incubator. So when I say that, 24 hours prior to putting your eggs in, let it run, let it get up temperature, you know, get a feel for how everything's operating, how things are turning, and then put your eggs in. My first one that my friend let me borrow, the power cord never worked, so I was pretty happy that I tried it the day before, because the next day I was going to put in 44 eggs, right? But thankfully something told me to plug it in before, get it up to temp, and give it a try, and I found out my power cord never worked. So he thankfully switched me, but if it wasn't for him, I definitely would not have been able to incubate 44 eggs. Yeah. I just want to say thanks everybody for watching. If you do have questions regarding the incubator, or incubating eggs, or how, you know, from day 1 to day 21 looks like for candling, or, you know, how do you place your eggs in the incubators, I would be more than happy to answer those questions. So just comment below and let me know. And I appreciate everybody watching.